is the Mistress Carrie Situation Report for October 17th, 2024. Disturbed are bringing the Sickness 25th anniversary tour to the TD Garden on March 14th of 2025, featuring 2 sets in one show. The band's debut album, The Sickness, in its entirety, and the greatest hits. 3 Days Grace with Adam Gontier and Seven Dust will open up the show. Tickets go on sale this Friday, October 18th at 10 a.m. You'll find a link to get tickets in the show notes of this episode. The Rickey Medlocke Band, featuring members of Lynyrd Skynyrd and Blackfoot, has returned with a new country-infused rock anthem called Rise Again. Proceeds from the new track will benefit the missing and murdered Indigenous women's movement. The song was released yesterday to help end the crisis of violence and human trafficking plaguing Native American women and girls. The U.S. government has requested that Iced Earth leader John Schaefer be sentenced to 3 years of supervised probation, as well as an order that he pay $2,000 in restitution and a mandatory $200 special assessment in connection with his involvement in the January 6, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol. The memo describing the extent of his involvement said the defendant was one of the first 6 people to breach the Capitol through the doors on the northwest side of the building near the Senate Parliamentarian's office. Schaefer wore a tactical vest and hat that read Oath Keepers Lifetime Member and was carrying a can of bear spray. The defendant's participation in the attack on the Capitol was not random. It was a culmination of weeks, if not months, of increasingly violent calls by Elmer Stewart Rhodes III, the leader of the Oath Keepers, to oppose the lawful transfer of power from Donald Trump to Joseph Biden. It also says on April 16th of 2021, the defendant fully accepted responsibility and pled guilty, pursuant to a cooperation plea agreement. The 1 count of obstruction of an official proceeding and 1 count of entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds with a deadly or dangerous weapon. The defendant was the first person to plead guilty to participating in the January 6th attack, and he agreed to permit the details of his cooperation plea agreement to be made public. Rap icons Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg have launched a new gin called Still Gin by Dre and Snoop, an ultra-premium gin now available for purchase nationwide. Still Gin by Dre and Snoop marks the highly anticipated second product release from the award-winning beverage brand co-founded by the music legends. Their first entry into the pure premium spirit space following the global success of the first release, the acclaimed canned cocktail Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Dr. Dre saying this is not a liquor that we're just putting our name on. It's just like what we did with Beats headphones. Everything is us from the ground up. The gin, the flavor, the packaging, everything had to be perfect. Snoop said it best, we're better together. It's always magical. It's incredible to know that you've got something amazing that you feel is going to really work. From the look to the taste, it's all there. A special remastered version of the Metallica Pinball game is coming 11 years after the original table was released. The limited edition version comes with a bunch of new accessories, including a full-color LCD display featuring all new animations and live concert video footage, also expanded gameplay and improved presentation with 22 songs, 8 more than the original, and expanded gameplay rules. And speaking of Metallica, Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas have been having a rough month. The states were slammed by back-to-back hurricanes 2 weeks apart. Metallica once again giving aid through their All Within My Hands Foundation, donating $50,000 each to both Feeding America and the Information Technology Disaster Resource Center. The band saying, quote, the series of storms has strained food bank operations, and our partners at Feeding America need our support. We're granting $50,000 to Feeding America's National Disaster Response Program, which provides food and water to communities devastated by the recent hurricanes. Along with the physical damage caused by these hurricanes, the swift restoration of essential technology and communications, and the infrastructure that's needed. The Information Technology Disaster Resource Center is a volunteer-driven nonprofit that provides technology continuity, connectivity, and recovery after catastrophic events for communities impacted by disasters. We're donating $50,000 to support the ongoing work of hundreds of ITDRC volunteers to ensure public safety, responding relief organizations, and local businesses are connected and have access to the communications they need to serve their community. Jakey Lee says that he's, quote, doing surprisingly well after being shot in Las Vegas. The 67-year-old former Ozzy Osbourne guitarist was hit 3 times in a shooting about 10 miles from the Las Vegas Strip early Tuesday morning. He was later taken to a hospital's intensive care unit where he is fully conscious and doing well. He's expected to make a full recovery. DJ Ashba, who also lives in Las Vegas, shared a text exchange with Jakey Lee saying, quote, please tell me you're okay. Jake responded, doing surprisingly well. I am one lucky motherfucker. Just make sure your birthday bash is wheelchair accessible. Just jestin', Ashba replied, so effing thankful you're okay. You got it, bro. Rumors began circulating of an Eddie Van Halen tribute tour in April of 2022. The tour was supposed to feature Alex Van Halen on drums, vocalist David Lee Roth, alongside former Metallica bassist Jason Newsted and guitarist Joe Satriani. The tour never happened, and in 2024, former Van Halen singer Sammy Hagar recruited Michael Anthony, Joe Satriani, and Jason Bonham for the Best of All Worlds tour. Well, according to Alex Van Halen, the tribute tour didn't happen because of David Lee Roth, saying, quote, the thing that broke the camel's back, and I can be honest about this now, was I said, Dave, at some point, we have to have a very overt, not a bowing, but an acknowledgement of Ed in the gig. If you look at how Queen does it, they show old footage. At the moment I said we got to acknowledge Ed, Dave fucking popped a fuse. The vitriol that came out was unbelievable. One Direction singer Liam Payne died yesterday after falling off of a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The former One Direction member was 31 years old. According to authorities, Payne fell from the 3rd floor of the Casa Sur Palermo Hotel around 5 p.m. local time. The cause of his death is currently under investigation, and it remains unclear whether it was accidental or intentional. He was 16 years old when he joined One Direction, alongside Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, and Zayn Malik. Born out of the British television singing series The X Factor, the group went on to become one of the biggest boy bands in music history, selling more than 70 million records worldwide and earning 29 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. One Direction went on permanent hiatus in 2016, and Payne signed with Republic Records and released his debut solo album in 2019. He had been working on a second studio album and released Teardrops back in March of 2024. Fresh off the pairing of Radiohead albums with screenings of Nosferatu, Blue Starlight Entertainment Silent Sync series has announced the next installment featuring REM's music. Beginning in February of 2025, the band's albums Monster and New Adventures in Hi-Fi will be used to soundtrack screenings of the 1924 Buster Keaton comedy Sherlock Jr. Sherlock Jr. by REM was created with the band's approval. Its world premiere is set to take place February 1st at the historic Morton Theater in Athens, Georgia. Peter Buck from the band saying Buster Keaton is one of my favorite actor, director, and writers in movie history. I'm honored that in some small way, REM is collaborating with him from beyond the grave. During a recent appearance on the latest episode of Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast, Paul Stanley from Kiss praised the upcoming Kiss Avatar show, saying it'll be like Cirque du Soleil meets Star Wars and a Kiss concert. The technology being used for the Kiss avatars, originally developed for ABBA's Voyage show in London, will allow Kiss to stay, quote, on the road in retirement. It's been reported that the Avatar technology cost the band $200 million to produce. On Tuesday, contestants on Jeopardy had their chance to answer questions about the Talking Heads with members of the band on hand to host a category about the band that was tied to the special 40th anniversary re-release of their concert film and soundtrack, Stop Making Sense. And that's your sit rep. For more details on all of the stories, check the links in the show notes of this episode. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie Podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Episode 228, featuring Corey Marks, is available now.